On the 12th of January 2016, there was a horrific bombing in Istanbul I think by ISIS. That's what's being reported. It says it was the deadliest attack on Germans abroad in more than 13 years. Obviously this is a horrific event, but the thing that's really struck me is the reaction to it. It seems that people are doing everything they can to claim that ISIS is not Islamic. That this was not a direct line from the Quran to bombing Istanbul. And I think it's disgusting how apologists hide this fact. You know, if we don't name the problem, which is Islam and Muslims, not Muslims, Muslims are okay, it's just Islam that I have a problem with. If we can't name the problem, how will we ever fix it? How will we stop these bombings? They'll just keep happening over and over again. We have to explicitly say that this was the result of Islam. And I think ISIS does represent a strong strain in Islam. Now, before you disagree with me, I know that like lots of fucking apologists and regressives are going to disagree with what I'm saying, and I just gotta say, man, you created Donald Trump and you created ISIS, so you gotta stop fucking doing that, you know? How do you think a woman in a burqa feels when she sees your opinion about this? She just thinks, there's no hope for me. I need, like, Western liberals to stand up for this. That's what I need. I need them to just say that ISIS is Islamic, so I can get the fuck out of this burqa. That's how this works. And now, before you fucking say that there's no justification for it in the Quran, I got the Quran right here. I got the Quran right here, and I'm going to read to you some passages, and you will see that it is directly the responsibility of the fucking Quran. It's right in the Quran. This attack was direct result from Muhammad. So try to get around this shit, you fucking regressives. Scum. And lo, Muhammad did walk, in which he saw a man on bended knee. The man said unto Muhammad, Muhammad, wherefore hast thou been when walking in this place of arraignment? Muhammad was perturbed. He said as such, my friend, please stand. What troubles your heart? The man rose, betwaffed his knee. He said, Sir, he said, my life is full of troubles. There are men from different nations which doth attack me in my personage. Muhammad smiled. Well, my good sir, there is only but one way to deal with such infidelity. The only way is through violence. Explicitly through violence, he added, making sure that he was explicit in the use of violence being what you need to do. But how will I use this violence, Mr. Muhammad, sir? He said. Well, sir, I think you must maketh that which doth explode. What doth explode? One day betwixt they might call it a bomb, Muhammad did suppose. But where must I attack them? He said, attack them in their economic center. That's how we must attack, Muhammad said. I want to make sure that there is absolutely no difficulty in understanding me here. Definitely attack them with bombs. Oh, okay. But what if I had a Jordanian pilot that needed to be burned? Well, you definitely must burn him, said Muhammad. And you must put it on the thing, which will be called television one day. And by the way, make sure you attack Istanbul. On what date should I attack Istanbul, said the man. 12th of January 2016. Does this explicitly apply to every single Muslim? Asked the man. Yes, it does. You have to attack Istanbul on 2016. Also, by the way, said Muhammad, in the Quran, it says that you cannot make any pictures of any kind. Look it up. It's in the Quran. It says you can't make any pictures of any kind. And the guy said, oh, okay, well, like, what should I do if somebody makes pictures? Well, you just obviously have to, like, get AK-47s and shoot them all. One day there will be an Islamic State. It will be called ISIS. It is fully sanctioned by me, said Muhammad, and then he went off and he molested a child. So, like, how the fuck can you get past this shit? It's right here in the fucking Quran, you know? Don't give me that shit. So, like, some people will say, well, what about other religions? Other religions have bad things in their books, too. Just because Muhammad explicitly said on 12th of January 2016, bomb Istanbul in a very deadly attack, well, what about the Talmud? What about the other books, like the Bible, the Old Testament? Well, I actually have the Talmud on my Kindle here as well. Let's have a look at this passage. And the prophet did walk along. His name was Jesus. And then somebody said, Jesus is not actually a prophet to the Jews. And then the guy writing the Talmud was like, my bad. And then he just kind of erased that. And Jesus was like, hey man, if you have a problem with the West, don't bomb Istanbul, don't kill cartoonists, and don't do all these kind of things. So you can see it's like right there in the Talmud. It says don't do it. So to everyone who is like a religious apologist, you can't blame Jews for like stuff ISIS has been doing. It's in the Talmud. It says don't do Istanbul. But if you read the Quran, it says do it explicitly. And like everything else that ISIS has been done can be found in the text, you know. I mean, fucking hell. Like, look at this. Like Muhammad said, one day there shall be a way of making short messages in 140 characters. You shall use this. It might be called the Twitter. Well, I think he got that wrong, because it was called Twitter. It's not called Twitter. One day, my acolytes, known as ISIS, shall use the Twitter and spread their messages, and that shall be the best way of disseminating our propaganda. It's right there in the fucking Quran. So I just think you fucking regressives have got to stop saying that ISIS is not Islamic. A woman in a burqa, every time she hears you say that, a little part of her soul dies. So grow the fuck up, regressives. So I want to make a disclaimer. I know that people are probably already furiously downvoting based on the video, but I want to point out that I am not mocking the victims of this hideous attack. I believe ISIS is a disgusting plague that needs to be wiped off the face of the earth. The thing that I've been making fun of is the opportunism that people partake in whenever events like this happen. Whenever ISIS does something, people say, oh look, you know, everything that we think about Islam's and the Quran and everything is totally justified because of this attack. But I submit that ISIS are not Islamic scholars. I think they're a bunch of fucking punks and criminals, and they should be treated as such. Now, the thing which really drives people apart, and I think results in like people downvoting and saying, well, fuck you, you know, the thing you have to point out that's relevant is that they're Muslims. The thing you have to point out that's relevant is Islam. I think the thing that really divides people is how we take care of ISIS. I don't personally believe that there's very many people in their right mind who thinks ISIS is decent, a good organization, who actually represents the way religious people would like themselves to be represented in the world. Anybody who thinks that is completely fucking misguided and insane. It's just we have a big difference. People say, those guys are justified. They are 100% totally justified. Well, if that was the case, I mean, we wouldn't be surprised if, I don't know, the vast majority of Muslims really got involved in this terrorism deal. Now, I'm tired of being strawmanned and people telling me that I think, therefore, there is not a lot of violence and rape and problems in the Islamic world, and that it's not related at all to the Quran or religion. That is clearly not true. It's just that we know that over time, religions can change. And that just seems to be something that people won't apply to Islam. They seem to think it's special, like it's never going to change. It's always going to be this way,